So this is the Conduit. It's High Voltage Software's original first-person shooter developed exclusively for the Nintendo Wii system. The Conduit is using High Voltage's proprietary Quantum 3 engine technology, which features some really great technology for full-featured normal mapping, advanced lighting effects, special effects, all sorts of bells and whistles to make our game look really great. The focus with the Conduit from early on was to develop some of the most advanced Wii tech available, and then make one of the most fun games, or at least the most fun first-person shooter that can be found on Nintendo Wii. So the Conduit right now is nearing its beta phase for single player. We have most of the single player functionality in place, and the demo that I'm showing today represents one of our levels from about midway through the game. It's the streets of Washington, D.C., where I'm in the midst of battling aliens and trying to rescue the city.
As Matt mentioned, this all takes place in Washington, D.C. The streets scene that you're seeing right now is just one of our many environments. A lot of the environments take place around historical landmarks in Washington, D.C. We have a section of the game that takes place at the White House, a section of the game that where you battle through the Library of Congress. So there's a lot of recognizable and interesting places to fight throughout the game. We do have a lot of neat functionality in here. You can see on the sniper scope there. When he goes back out into the scene, you'll be able to see that there's reflection from the environment going on in it, including it reflects the animating sky. We have a lot of material-based effects throughout the game, where we're able to, per material, have glows and various shiny materials. You'll notice on the hands, just sections of them glow. We also have advanced light maps and normal mapping throughout the game. You'll notice that on a lot of the weaponry and different things, there's a high level of detail going on with them. That's something you typically don't see on the Wii.
Your character is Mr. Ford. He works for a government agency that's been lying in the shadows for years, preparing for the inevitable alien invasions. And so they have these sort of alien human fusion weapons that have all sorts of unique powers. The weapon I'm using right now, the strike rifle, is an alien weapon. Alien weapons, the aliens in our game are sort of based on insects. We've done a lot of insect research, and then of course that also plays into our storyline. You'll see that notice that our weapons are very organic, sort of the bio-organic weaponry, and they run on plasma shots. There is melee built into the game, by the way.
So this device can be utilized for puzzle solving, like Matt is accomplishing there, which will reveal hidden areas of the game where you can find exclusive weaponry, additional ammunition, and different elements that can progress the storyline more as well.
So that's like a secret place for the organization you're working for?
That's correct. There's sort of these Masonic areas that are very conspiracy theory kind of areas peppered throughout the city that you can discover as a player. The all-seeing eye is also used to reveal other types of invisible geometry that Matt will showcase in a little bit. The weapon that he discovered down there is very interesting. This is one of the trust weapons that you'll notice when Matt charges the weapon, 2 targeting reticules go on screen, and it allows him to twist the Wii mode and get various angles of trajectory, allowing him to hit with a single reticule, and then the secondary projectile will wrap around the first as a fulcrum and rotate until it hits with the first projectile. Coming up here is a pretty good example of one of our larger creatures in the game. That quick cut screen is an example of a very brief in-game cinema. Some of our in-game cinematics will be a little bit longer than that, but our intention is that they will all be very fast keep and remain within the game, allowing the player to never leave the action of the gameplay. This enemy is interesting, and this is a behavior that is then echoed on other creatures throughout the game, where it actually fires smaller insect creatures at you. So a lot of the alien weapons are actually, they're organic based and fire, you know, insects or have grubs as components of the machinery. Matt is using the lock-on here, where which displays not only when he hits the Z trigger, it locks on to the enemy and displays both the distance that enemy is away, and to the side it displays their health meter, and that works on every enemy in the game.
But you're free not to lock on to the enemies as well?
Absolutely, and the lock isn't just like an absolute snap to like on some lock-ons. It assists the player and just helps in stabilization. But throughout the game, the player has the full ability to just shoot without any lock-on, and the control mechanism is quite accurate. So some of the players around the office have found themselves regularly playing without lock-on at all.
Thinking about these portals, is that how the enemies arrive, or?
Yes, those portals are peppered throughout, and they act much like in a Gauntlet or a game like that, where they will continue to spawn into the level until the player destroys those. So it becomes a strategic element when you go into certain areas of the game, where it's very important to find the portals quickly and eliminate them, otherwise enemies will continue to pour out and attack you. Here Matt was using the guided missile again. And that's the end of our demo.